Today's show is brought to you by Manscaped.
Yeah.
Go to manscaped.com/dangle to receive 20% off your next purchase. For what, Steve? For what?
Shaving your...
Let's get into the show.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Powered by Sports Interaction. Canada's Sportsbook.
S-D-P. The Steve Dangle Podcast. With your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Let's go!
Man, is that not the most leafy start to a season you've ever seen in your life?
It's about right, though.
Team that they should absolutely destroy, they lose 3-2. Team that they might struggle against because they're a much better team, probably a playoff team, even though they're missing a couple key players. They do pretty well.
You think the Caps are a better team?
Better than Montreal.
Oh. Okay. I was about to say...
Better than Leafs?
Adam?
No.
No, you phrased it funny.
Okay.
Sorry.
Woo!
You know what? Let's start in Montreal. Let's start in Montreal, where the Leafs have bad D, good forwards, and an okay goalie.
Are you going to delay the start by like 30 minutes so that we'll actually start our conversation like 20 minutes into when we were supposed to start?
Listen, I don't want to say that the Habs have lost their touch with their opening game ceremonies. Oh, wait, yes, I do. Montreal opening game ceremonies are no longer great. Make Montreal opening ceremonies great again.
It was one bad.
It was
it's no longer when it was just one time.
It was a snore. It was a snore, except for the Carey Price moment. And all they had to do was just bring out Carey Price, wave to the crowd. Okay, here's the torch. Let's go.
That's the thing. They didn't have to... I think that all could have been rectified by not bringing all the scratches out individually.
Mm-hmm.
One, it took entirely too long. Two, the scratches were not into it at all.
No, they weren't. Like,
why would they be?
They're not selling the sizzle there at all.
It was exclusively for Carey Price, that moment. But like, poor Jonathan Drouin.
Yeah.
That's humiliating.
And he's the first guy out too.
Mm-hmm.
He was
right?
He was one of them. I don't know.
And he was scratched that day, hours before game time. They say, "Oh, healthy scratch, Jonathan Drouin." Yeah. And then you bring him out on the ice. And you're supposed to be happy about this. That's not a good moment.
And I saw, people were criticizing the Habs and dumping on them for it, and they're talking about the prestige of the organization and the origins of the torch. And I understand all of that, but that particular moment it's pure humiliation.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't like that at all. I don't see what's wrong with having the players come on the ice with a carpet and just going down the line one by one. Why do they all got to walk out like the most bored WWE superstars of all time?
Mm-hmm.
With the
because they're hockey players, guys. The charisma is lacking in hockey land anyway, and that's why it's super weird that you would bring out the scratches, because they'd be the most upset of the people who have no charisma.
Yeah, the people who run this thing and planned it should know that.
As a Twitter moment, Carey Price's moment was fantastic. As a broadcasting moment, it was awful.
Yeah.
They spent like 10 minutes on the scratches.
So
come on.
The game started, it was supposed to be a 7 p.m. puck drop. The game dropped the puck at 7:24.
Well, 7:07.
Oh, yeah.
That's 7 minutes.
Awesome. So why, if you're going to do all this, say you want to go through with, you bring out the healthy scratches in SmackDown Friday night, you want to bring them out like that. Why not start that ceremony at 6:45 for the in-arena people, if that's the moment you want for all of them to cheer?
Yes, I agree.
And then leave it off the broadcast, and then we all get our game at 7:10 or something.
I disagree, because you have to get the Carey Price moment on TV.
Leave it for the last part.
Yeah.
For when the broadcast joins.
I don't disagree with that.
If you want that there, then show it on the broadcast when you join. That's 7.
What's this thing where all the games are now going to end at 10:30? Like, what the hell was last night, too?
Well, I know producer Drew is he's going to protest.
Yeah, for sure.
It was a 7:30 start. So then we had the Leafs have their pregame thing. So then we get the 10:30 end.
Yeah, and listen, I understand. You got to announce the coach staff. You got to announce all the players who are dressed. But that's where you do it. That's where you leave it. And then
can I throw it out there? I don't know that you do.
Right.
I don't know that you do.
I think everybody deserves their moment in the sun.
Oh yeah, everyone loves it. And Leafs assistant coach Manny Malhotra just stares daggers down the camera. Like,
CJ was joking on the Chris Johnson show that they were going to announce Julian and say, "Oh, and we have our reporters that have left for Calgary,
Julian
Montreal,
McKenzie.
Julian McKenzie."
Post the game over Montreal.
That
And
was
Roberto
fun.
You know, if you didn't need to announce the guy who sells popcorn in 104.
yeah, listen, great moments. Carey Price for Montreal. I thought Rodion Amirov last night was a wonderful touch. But yeah, man, entirely too long. Entirely too long.
Yeah, and I get that there's the torch thing, but it is a bit cheesy, and it fell flat. It fell super flat. And I know if you were there, it was probably emotional because you're riding high off the Price stuff, but you have to admit the rest of it wasn't great.
I don't mind the torch. Everything else took too long.
Okay, fair enough.
I shouldn't be bored.
Yeah, I don't think any Habs fans were bored.
Yeah, the Leafs one, I was still bored.
The Leafs one was boring. It was. It always is, though. It always is.
But what happens if they bring out the Arkells? Then everything's exciting.
I hadn't thought about that. The Arkells.
But what if they're not available and they
Yeah.
got to bring out the truth?
Oh, yeah.
Listen, like, I don't know. Well, it's funny. I feel like the Leafs are too far in the other direction.
Oh, yeah.
Here's John Tavares.
Yeah, they do. They
That's
are a little
all.
mechanical about it. Like, at
Yeah.
least the Habs are trying. The
Yes.
Leafs are like, here's a flashlight. Here's that guy. Here's that guy. Here's that guy. Here's the starting lineup. Play the fucking game. It's very Toronto. It sums up the Toronto culture versus the Montreal culture. Because Montreal culture, Montreal. They always kind of say like Montreal is like the swashbuckling, fun sibling.
Swashbuckling.
They're pirates. Arg. And then, but then Toronto's like the accountant. You know, it's like, please, let's.
He does the finances for the pirate ship.
That's what. Yes,
Yeah.
pays for some of the pirate
He's
ship. Honestly,
a doubloon counter.
yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, it was like John Tavares directed that opening ceremony. You know, he sat there in the PR room and was like, guys,
And John Tavares' lunch.
just
kale.
get a mic.
I'm still waiting for that damn Sportsnet video to come out. There's something, I'm going to tease this. There's something in John Tavares' house that I'm fairly certain he's the only person on earth who has this.
I bet he grows kale. I bet he grows kale
You're
in like
on
a
the right
fridge.
track.
Because I see it on the Kardashians. Because now I watch the Kardashians.
He
And
grows kale in a fridge?
They have a fridge just for their vegetables where they grow them.
You're even closer than you were before.
Wow.
So he might not be the only person who has it.
No.
Maybe it's not a fridge. I don't know if you grow
the
vegetables in a
Kardashians
fridge.
don't have this.
Okay.
They don't have this. Really?
I don't think so.
They.
They might. I don't think
When
so.
does it come out, this video?
I don't know. I got to talk to someone. I'm dying for you all to know.
All right.
Because it's the John Tavares dias.
The game itself.
Montreal?
Yeah,
Montreal?
some of the highlights and lowlights. Obviously, it is Dennis Malgin season. Get on board.
No. Steve, you invented something new.
Yeah.
The Malgin Beehive?
I did not invent that.
Yeah,
I
what
did
is
not
that?
invent that.
Who invented that?
I literally just saw people talking about it on Twitter. Like,
So it's like Beyonce, but Malgin.
I don't know.
no, it's
So
like
you're Rihanna with the Dangle Navy, and Dennis Malgin is Beyonce with the beehive.
Malg hive. Like, no, it's.
It doesn't. Make
I
any
just saw
sense.
people basically. People who like Dennis Malgin are embracing the fact that they're insufferable nerds. And so am I. I'm embracing the fact that I'm an insufferable nerd. And he scored in his first game, and that's hilarious. And it means he's going to work the entire season with John Tavares and William Nylander. We're going to ignore the fact that Jimmy Vesey also scored in his first game on that line. We're just going to ignore it. It
Didn't
works.
happen.
Proof that it works.
What I'm referencing is in your LFR to stamp the point down. You rode Leo's little bee toy
yeah.
for the Dennis Malgin Beehive.
And that will be the last time because, like,
It wasn't great.
no, he's a child, and that's what the toy is built for. And I'm a grown man, and will break it.
I think that you need to do it.
He did it.
You
and
know,
it
but I
wasn't
think you
good.
need to commit to doing it again.
What, every time he scores?
Yeah.
No, because what if he's great? That's the mistake I made with Clark MacArthur.
With
Because
the
the Leafs
sword?
signed him for nothing. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to pull out the sword that my dad made when he was bored at work. Long story. Every time Clark MacArthur scores, and then he scored in like his first 4 games. And I was just, now I'm like committed to doing this bit, and I think he
Say
had
the
like
line, Steve.
the sword.
Say it, peasant.
Yeah, and he scored like 20
He
goals.
did. He was great. That was him, Kuhlman, and Grabowski.
Yeah, the
was
best second line in hockey when the Leafs didn't have a very good first.
There it is.
It was awkward watching you on the little bee thing because at some points you couldn't even see the bee.
That's why I had to hoist it up.
Yeah,
it just looked like I was
just looks like you were grinding the carpet.
getting down.
Yeah.
And maybe I was. You know?
You need to
It was
do
a
the
good
bee
moment
thing.
for game one.
He
Thank you
needs to
for giving
continue
me
the bee
that.
thing. I'm sorry, but you have to.
Did you watch yesterday's?
No, I haven't had a chance.
I was drenched by the end
Yeah,
of it.
Were you?
you see
Yeah.
sweating. You can see it.
People were saying you were in mid-season form.
Yeah.
because
no,
your lighting is amazing. You can see every crevice in your face
Nice.
and all the sweat.
which I don't like, but apparently you do. So that's
It's very good.
good for all of you.
It's a very Leafy thing for them to tie it up with a minute 50 to go, and then Jake Muzzin to just dump an absolute pizza right up the center of the ice as though he's never played defense before.
But it's okay. Justin Hall drops into the butterfly like he's never played defense before. And Matt Murray jumps the wrong way like a soccer goalie because he can't see the friggin' thing.
Well, he's also never played goalie before.
And that's
Really, I don't blame him for that goal. I really don't.
yeah.
That should never have happened. We had possession of the puck. Stop it down, look around, make a decision, but not that decision.
Both he and Samsonov, I would say, allowed at least one goal each
That they shouldn't have.
That they shouldn't have. Did you see the Luke Fox stat from last night?
Which one?
The high danger scoring chances in the first period were 11-0 for Toronto. The score was 2-1 Washington.
Wow. Wow.
But for the Montreal game, like it was Muzzin and Hall had a bad game overall.
They were shocking.
1
Yeah,
through
it was-
3 periods, they were awful.
And the top line. I'm not letting them off the hook.
No. But let's start with Muzzin and Hall
Let's
here.
focus
Yeah.
on
Because every time I bring something up, you guys, and what about this? And I'm like,
Well,
can
and
we
then-
just focus on the thing for a second?
Well, I'm in mid-season form, which is derailing everything.
Justin Hall, like everybody who criticized him throughout the playoffs, like that was their like celebration moment. They're like, look,
I didn't do that. Do you notice? Did I do anything?
I did not do that.
I didn't do that. I don't celebrate. I don't want him to. I don't want to celebrate. I want to celebrate Justin Hall not doing well.
The anti-Hall hive. No, I want him to be great.
I want him to be Norris caliber. That's what I'm hoping for.
Hell
him.
yeah.
But
I want him to be the guy.
But I'm realistic about it.
I wish, like, if you could just get one version of one player on this team to make them a cup caliber team. Do we get 4-goal Austin Matthews? No. Do we get like spinorama past Mitch Marner? No. We get Justin Hall for those 3 consecutive games against Edmonton during the bubble year. And they win the cup in 4 sweeps.
Yep.
A sweep of sweeps.
Yep. No question.
but I think Justin Hall is going to be fine in the end.
Oh yeah, and
It
I
was
think
one bad game.
So one thing that I noticed with the Leafs, and a few people pointed this out too, is that they were very aggressive from the defensive, like the defense. Like Muzzin had a breakaway
First game or?
first game.
Montreal.
Muzzin, man, if you see him at the face-off dot or lower, he's shooting. And I can't help but wonder if they had a more mobile guy in his spot,
Yeah.
if they'd be able to generate more.
And again, we're saying this about the Montreal game and the Montreal game alone because I'm aware that Hall and Muzzin had a good game last night, obviously, because it was a bit of a redemption arc for them. And it's the first game versus the second game, and I get that. I get that.
Yeah.
But I think at a certain point, we are probably going to have the discussion, not yet, about Jake Muzzin, and maybe that it isn't his fault that he's not performing at the same level that he was 3 years ago. He's had some pretty heinous injuries, and the Leafs keep putting him out there like he's the player that he was in 2020 and 2019.
Well, and it didn't instill confidence that before this season, when he missed some time, no, I don't have a back injury. I just have chronic back issues. And I'm like,
Man,
oh, that's a problem.
that's not.
that's
and like,
hard.
Listen, players need a lot of maintenance, and I've heard rumors over the years of this player requires a lot of maintenance. That player requires a lot of maintenance. That this player was like, he could barely walk between playoff games. He'd go to the chiropractor, and then he's fine, and then he's able to get out there. And every player has their thing to get through, but. You know what I was thinking last night when they were losing? Because I think grumpy thoughts when the Leafs are losing, and I think honest thoughts. And sometimes they conflict, but CJ sat right there and he was talking about the tough decisions the Leafs might have to make this offseason, as in this offseason.
This previous summer.
And he talked about the tough decisions they're going to have to make. And they didn't make friggin' one of them.
That's a good point.
They didn't make one of them. And the big one was supposed to be Muzzin, and they didn't pull the trigger on it. They could have. So they better figure it out with him, because
they've made the decision that they have to figure it out with him.
They've made the decision that, like, what is his trade value going to be higher this offseason?
No.
You know, I was thinking, like, okay, what if Sandin has this, you know, big coming out party and he has this great season and it pushes Hall down the lineup. And then imagine you have, like, you know, you have Riley Brody, a much improved Sandin, Liljegren gets healthy, and then you can have, like, Muzzin Giordano.
Oh, I love that. Delicious.
You know, something like that. That could work. But if Muzzin, I want to see Sandin promoted, not Muzzin demoted. And I hope the Leafs didn't make the wrong decision in keeping this guy.
Absolutely. And it's fair to ask the question, but we can't come to any conclusions on that. We're going to know probably 40, 50 games in.
You're also paying Muzzin too much to be your third pairing defenseman.
You are, but you may not have given yourself the choice. I think they knew
$5.6 million.
The back half of that deal was always going to kind of suck.
That's the Summers problem. That's the Summers problem. Mid-season, if it's a great third pair, I don't care.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Come summer, yeah, no, absolutely. That's way too much money. It, you know, November, December, January, I don't give a shit. Win games.
So we've said all that to say this: versus Washington, Muzzin and Hall owned over 70% of the game's 5-on-5 expected goals when they were on the ice.
Hooray!
So we've seen the duality of what they can do, and you can say, "Hey, the excuse is it's game one. And Montreal almost lulled them to sleep with that opener." I think at the end of the day, we don't know, and that was a stat Kevin Papetti collected, by the way, with the Athletic. Just throwing that out there. But it's one of those things that I'll be keeping an eye on. I think you gotta watch that. If you're looking at a very good team, and we said this in some of the previews, it's like you're looking at a very good team. Instead of looking for reasons why they will win, sometimes you're almost looking for reasons why they won't. What could go wrong? Almost, right? Because this is a very good team.
I think game one can be summarized this simply. The Leafs played good hockey bad, and the Habs played bad hockey good. The Leafs were sloppy and all over the place and not connecting passes, and they weren't getting shots through, and they weren't creative, and they weren't executing. The Montreal Canadiens played Randy Carlyle hockey to a T.
And nailed it.
They got in front of everything, and their penalty kill got in front of everything. They were forcing shots to the outside, and Jake Allen was big when he had to be. And every now and then, odd man rush is going to squeak the other way, and you better have shooters who can finish, and they do. The Habs won game one the way they're going to have to win every game.
I would have liked to see Matt Murray make a save or two.
I agree.
A couple more. Yeah.
It was a bit of a Jack Campbell-y game because you're like, okay, well, that goal against sucked, but he also had this save, which was actually very good.
The one off the line too was amazing.
Timely, yeah. So I'm not going to judge him too much based on that, but what's John Tortorella's quote from when he had? I think it was. What was it, John Graham as a starting goalie? After riding Nikolai Habibulin to a Stanley Cup, it'd be nice to get a goddamn occasional save. And I think back to, and it's another early season game, I think back to that 7-6 overtime catastrophe in Chicago where the Leafs eventually won, but after Matthews does the ear thing, Chicago ties it on their next shot. And it's like, Garrett, like, I don't care what the defense did in front of you. Like, yeah, did they help you out? Did they put you in a position to succeed? Maybe they didn't.
Are they thin ultimately, maybe?
I need a damn save.
Yeah.
I need a damn save there.
Garrett
Sparks was in that.
He was in that game?
Yeah, that was his first game of the season. Hell of a precedent to set.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that.
Oh, I did. It definitely wasn't Freddie. It was, that was Sparks, and hell of a. It's an unfortunate debut for Murray, but I want to say this because Samsonov allowed. I know there was 0 high danger chances in the first. I think the first one, borderline. The second one was shit. That was a terrible goal.
But then after that second goal, he doesn't allow a goal.
Right. And I think that's very important. And Leafs fans can maybe take a lesson from Oilers fans. Because I don't know if you caught the Oilers' first game of the season against the Canucks. Jack Campbell allowed 2 goals in his first 4 shots, and they were down 3-0. How did that game end? The Oilers stormed back. Jack Campbell laid a hit. That's all anybody remembers. All anybody remembers is a cool moment from Jack Campbell. McDavid had a hat trick.
Oilers win.
Yeah, and the Oilers won. Samsonov shut the door after a shitty first period, and the Leafs won. What else do you want? So if we're going to be accused of going too hard on them in one direction, I think if you give the Leafs some grace, hey, they won.
Absolutely.
They won, and this goalie won.
Yeah, and I liked how transparent he was post-game because he gave an interview. I think he was just talking to Scrum, and he was like, I was nervous at the beginning, and after that second goal, I was like, oh, I need to get everything together.
I have the quote.
Sure.
You're nervous, your reaction is slow, you're moving bad. Does that sum it up any better than that? You're moving bad.
English is heartwarming.
It is.
And
thank you, defense. Thank you,
do you
fans.
have the rest of it? Or he talks about...
You said it was a lot of emotion, that part?
Yeah, where he talks about the second goal, and then he's like...
I don't have the rest of that, sorry.
So, yeah, after that second goal, he says, I needed to change a few things. And then after that, there was no more goals.
That's great.
It was very good. It was like, I was very happy with his performance, even though that second goal was bad. Shut the door after.
Tavares has started the season with a goal and 2 assists.
Looking really good. Looking really good. Willie, too.
Is it KO redemption this year?
Even
though he was a point-a-game player last year, apparently he was bad.
I
don't know.
Come on. We're all forgetting about the driver of all this, and that's Dennis Malgin. It's Dennis Malgin, driving it all. And thank goodness, because the Leafs could be deep into 0-2 territory if that second line isn't as good as it is. That top line struggled.
Second game was better.
Second game was better. They were there.
It was better, but they allowed...
Bunting was a bit of a passenger last night, but...
Bunting got benched at the other first one.
Yeah. He's having a tough start.
He has.
Yeah. He's having a bit, even though he scored the first goal.
It's that 8-year contract he's waiting on. He's no, I'm kidding. That's a little unfair.
No, but
I was joking.
He was out of position on the Hathaway one, and it's a half measure, right? If you're going to go after a guy for hitting your team's best player, confetti gloves. Whew! Stop in the play immediately. Grab the guy, pinata him, do whatever you got to do. Don't miss the hit and have it lead to a goal.
Yep.
Which is exactly what happened.
It's a stinger.
I think it was Haley Salvian, speaking of the first line there and the top line struggling, in her report cards for Monday, or the first game, Wednesday, she wrote that Austin Matthews' bar is domination. The bar he set is you're going to take over the game occasionally and score a crazy goal and you're going to look dominant. And he wasn't that. No. So that's a failure on Austin Matthews' part when that's the bar of what we expect for the reigning Hart Trophy winner to be dominant in every single game.
But that's what he was in the third.
Game-winning goal, baby.
Yeah, I've said this for years about this Leafs team. Help is not on the way. And after the first period, guys are taking runs at Austin Matthews. Do they call up Wayne Simmons? And I'm like, Jesus Lord. Help is not on the way. It's not coming. Put up your hands and fight. Fight for your life. Stick up for yourself.
And
Matthews runs over a guy. Because, I love when he remembers he's 6'3", 220.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It is kind of fun when he throws it. Absolutely.
Yes, and if that's the precedent that he's going to set for the rest of the season, hell yeah. And if you're a Leaf on the bench, don't you feel like a bit of a putz if you're not doing the exact same thing?
Yes, you do. If Matthews is having to do it, yes, you do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Holy shit.
Well, and listen,
this guy scored 60 goals last year, and he's our resident guy trucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I need to be better.
I also think that there's, I mean, we saw it in the Montreal game, but there's a tendency when the Leafs do get a little heated of being like, I'm going to slash you and take a dumb penalty.
Yep.
And
Holy
so,
shit,
and you're right. So when you, if you are going to confetti gloves, make sure do it like you mean it or don't do it.
Yeah. Commit.
Yeah, we havenn't even talked about the penalties. At one point, it
penalties
was
were bad.
4 straight.
Yeah.
right against the Leafs.
You're just not going
to end the game.
It was fucking ridiculous.
Three straight in the third.
How many penalties over 2 games? 9.
Yeah, the Leafs have got to be
might
like
be
that
even
first
more.
one. The first one against Montreal with Giordano. I'm like, come on, Mark.
Right.
Like,
yeah,
like that is clearly a penalty every day in the NHL.
It was. I look at that as less of a dumb penalty and more of either a bad read or poor positioning, because he took a penalty that basically saved the Leafs from a very advantageous odd man rush, maybe even a breakaway.
Mm-hmm.
So the mistake was made before the penalty, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like some of those were fucking bad.
They are bad, and the Leafs are the kings of bad penalties. They do take stupid effing penalties.
Yeah,
they do. Like
the Muzzin one, I thought was a little.
Yeah, and you tweeted something out that I loved. I forget which game it was, but you're like, every time they call a pick, you think of, or they don't call a pick, you think of Justin Hall in the playoffs last year.
That was Arbor Jacki on Alex Kerfoot, and I had a little bit of pushback against it, but now I can't help but notice every single one, and you notice how often it happens, and like, is it or isn't it a thing? Well, this one led to a goal. That's not how it works.
Is it or is it a thing?
That's not how it works.
Yeah. Yep.
9 penalties in 2 games.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's bad.
Calle Yarncroke scored a pretty nice goal too. That third line's not looking so bad. Alex
Kerfoot is the most frustrating player in the world.
Man, is he good when he's good?
He's good when he's good, and he does so. No one does more nothing when he's bad.
You mean he's like invisible?
No, he's extremely visible.
When he's bad.
He's like a brilliant drawing with a white marker.
He skates around a lot. There's a lot of movement from Kerfoot, and he's doing a lot of nothing.
Well, and the Leafs front office does like people to keep their skates moving, and he does do that.
He keeps his skates friggin' moving, and often it leads to wonderful things like the game-tying goal last night, and other times it leads to nothing.
He's also dumb penalty taker from last night, right?
I don't remember his. I believe he took one. That was another thing that I pointed out in my video.
Kubel is the one I think you're talking about.
The interference on Jordan Harris.
Was that in the third?
That was Kerfoot in the second period last night. Or versus Montreal.
That was a bad one.
Yeah.
They call those, man. They call those now. They set that precedent last year, and I guess it's a new season, but you found out, didn't you?
So did they take 4 in a row in the third period against Montreal?
4 to end the game last night, but it was 3 in the third and the 1 at the end of the second.
Yeah.
Didn't they take 3 to start the game in Montreal?
Yeah, 3 or 4 to start the game.
It was
like
that's 3 to start in Montreal, correct?
All 4 of the guys who took the 4 consecutive penalties last night kill penalties.
Oh.
So there's definitely some wrinkles with this team, but I said this is going to be a tough October.
And honestly, I'm not worried. Like, we say all this, but like, are you worried? I'm not worried.
We forget that they also struggled to start last season. Do you remember the game?
Oh, the
Chicago game where everything was going down with Kyle Beach, and we're like, how could they go in there and the fans aren't even going to be in the stadium? And then the Leafs went in there, and I think they won in overtime. But the Chicago Blackhawks were at the time like the worst team in the National Hockey League, and that was
on and off the ice
amongst the Leafs' awful start to the year.
I can't remember, but it's a borderline annual tradition of going into Chicago in your first 5 games and playing like shit.
Yeah, and then they ended up with 115 points as in their best ever in franchise history after a bad start.
That was the rational thought pointed out by the Chris Johnston show that I listened to on the way here. God, I love that.
Who the hell are those guys?
Great show.
They're wonderful.
The
gentlemen.
trash. The trash with the chocolate bar.
It's a slow starting team, and I hope that they don't keep that up. I hope they get some more wins here in October.
There were moments for concern, moments, to build off of. On to game 3.
Absolutely.
Do you think Sheldon Keefe should have went to the media and said, "I'm disappointed in the guys"? And all
no,
that
I think he needed to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want the Leafs
accountable.
You know what? Toronto's this big bad market to play in. Method act this year. Play the part. And what drew that thought out of me was people like, and I myself thought this. Why is Ilya Samsonov's first game as a Toronto Maple Leaf against his former team? Because this year, it's an 82 game season, and to start the season, we're going to throw Ilya in the pool, and the ones who float will be on the team come playoff time. And Murray's going to play his first hockey night in Canada as a Leaf. I think his first home game
Against Ottawa.
Let's see if he floats. Oh, they said you had an unacceptable effort, which you did. Like, what are we asking Sheldon Keefe to do? To lie?
No, I thought we're great.
Yeah. And the players would have appreciated. I don't give a shit what the players would have appreciated. I would have appreciated if they won Game 7. Which year? Take your pick. Win. Mm-hmm. Like this is your find a fucking way year. Mm-hmm. Find a way. You're playing against your former team. You got the butterflies. You're getting shit on in the media. Find a way. I'm beyond caring. Win.
For me here, this game last night was the first of 4 at home. One's versus Ottawa, one's versus Arizona, and the other one's versus Dallas. I think you have to come out of that 3-1. Mm-hmm. You got to find you took one. That's great. Get 2 more in that.
I agree with
that
you.
Little stretch.
I think you're absolutely right.
I mean, one of the things Babcock said that I did like was, home games are supposed to be free win night. Basically, I don't know if I might be paraphrasing him.
Right.
But yeah, you should be the favorite in both those games, and you need to bank those points before you go on the road.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's honestly, like, again, we're breaking down the first 2 games of the year. So if you're listening to this going, well, it seems overreaction. Well, I think sometimes when you have a podcast, you do need to do that. And I don't know if we're overreacting so much as it's like we're breaking down what is happening, and we have a full view to this team could win the President's Trophy.
I think we have a very accurate reaction.
Yeah.
I don't think it's over or under.
Yeah.
Well, and I think there's just so much of Toronto and so much of Leafs Nation that it gets focused on. How's New Jersey feeling today? Oh yeah, breakout team got their asses kicked. Ottawa.
By who? By who?
Philly.
John Tortorella and Philly went out there and put 5 goals up.
Which, as soon as I saw JVR's suit, I'm like, they're winning. They're winning this game.
Mackenzie Blackwood wasn't the greatest, allowing 4 goals on 24 shots.
You need a save.
Yeah.
And Ottawa, big off season, they got their asses kicked in a weirdly mean and aggressive game against the Sabres.
Yeah. Buffalo looked a little dangerous.
Yeah.
It was fun.
That actually doesn't surprise me because Buffalo is a little bit more what Buffalo was last year, whereas the Sens, that's going to take time.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't doing that face for the Ottawa Senators. But anyway, let's get it. You can bet that.
Sports Interaction, Canada's Sportsbook, presents You Can Bet That with David Bastel. Must be 18 plus. Please play responsibly. Ontario only.
His name is Dave Bastel. His team has not played yet, but they are playing Jesse's pick at sportsinteraction.com/STPN to win the Stanley Cup. Rangers, Jets, Rangers on the second half of a back-to-back tonight.
They are.
Interesting. Wow. Stanley Cup. Actually, you know what? It's not bad. And you probably got pretty good value because that number is going to keep on going lower and lower because there's a lot of hype around New York and what they might do during the regular season as far as look after superstar players that are leaving fumbling teams. I think we've talked about that in the past. But you know what? Yaroslav Halak starts for the Rangers tonight. Obviously, the backup goaltender of the two. A capable of backup, definitely. But you know what? Jets slight favorites of Sports Interaction. Good value on the Rangers if you're thinking they're going to go 3-0 to start the year, which they're more than capable of doing because they are that good of a team.
You're telling me I can get the best team in the National Hockey League as an underdog tonight?
Underdog.
Oh, wow.
With a noted Alan Walsh client in net.
Easy win. Easy win.
Right.
Wow. Well, it's your 3rd game in 4 nights. I'm just
not
saying.
too concerned. 7 goals last night. They left some in the tank for tonight.
I'll send you a text tonight. I'm one of those friends. Yeah. No. I'm just joking.
We also have Battle of Ontario and Battle of Alberta. We'll start with Ontario because let's be honest, it's more important.
Wow.
Wow. Sends and leaves Saturday night. What do we got, Dave? Like
that was Adam Wilde that said that. Just for clarity.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
I'm
Dave.
just a guest.
Yeah.
I'm just a guest. So, Matt Murray revenge game. How about that? Huh?
Yeah.
I know you guys are going to be talking about that. I'm looking forward to that. That should be fun. Ottawa kind of looked like Ottawa against the Buffalo Sabres. I was kind of surprised by that, but nonetheless, these two teams get up for one another. It should be a lot of fun. And then the Battle of Alberta right after. So you're looking at arguably the best kind of Saturday night you could have when you look at the double headers back to back for Canadian teams, rivalries, provincial ones as well. Add to the mix. Good way to start the year.
I got to ask you, bank your picks now. Who are you taking, Toronto or Ottawa?
Just straight up Toronto.
Yeah,
to win the game. Yeah,
Toronto, because I'm not going to cheer against myself.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, me too. Although, man, when they play Ottawa and they play Montreal, bad things happen.
I know.
All right, now more importantly, and I want everybody to weigh in on this because it's important. Flames and Oilers. Who do you pick in that battle? It's the first of three. That's all they're going to play each other this year. What do you got?
I got my answer. What do you got?
Oh boy, I think the Oilers are feeling better about themselves after their win than Calgary.
So you're saying Oilers?
Yes.
Okay.
Hubie dooby doo. Let's go Calgary Flames.
Dave, who would you go with? Who's your pick on that one?
I got the Calgary Flames as well.
Wow.
I'm still trying to figure out how Edmonton took care of business last year during the playoffs, because that was like a whitewashing. And I was like, really? That's what they did to the Flames? I think the Flames are the better team. I think the Flames have the better goaltending as well.
I am going to go with the Edmonton Oilers because Jack Campbell took out somebody with his full body.
After
nights ago.
allowing 2 goals on his first 4 shots, going down 3-0, and they won anyway. That's the Oilers in a nutshell.
Hey, Dave, thanks so much for your time today, and we will see you next week, next Monday.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Have a nice weekend.
Our next partner is a pretty cool product. It's Athletic Greens.
Woo! Yeah,
if you're athletic and you're the color green, this is the product for you.
Is your shirt green?
Yes, it is green.
It is green.
Yeah.
It's like off green.
Listen, in actuality, if you're looking to get better gut health, more energy, stronger immune system in a really easy, natural way, then you got to check out Athletic Greens. I'm sure you will agree. Most of us are not huge fans of having to take a bunch of pills or vitamins in the morning. Mm-hmm. But Athletic Greens, it can get rid of all the extra vitamin bottles and finally make some room in your cabinet for other things. Athletic Greens is the all-in-one solution, and it actually tastes good. And as I've told you many times before, it is lifestyle friendly. We are all very specific eaters in this era.
Oh, era!
Thank you. Whether you eat keto,
I thought you were referring to my lactose intolerance.
No. Well, I mean this helps too because if you're keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free. Both of these guys should be dairy-free. One of them is not. And we have to smell. He's a farty guy. Athletic Greens will not make you that, though. Also gluten-free, too. So it contains less than a gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals, artificial anything. It tastes good, too. So here's what we want you to do. You can reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition to make it easy. Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1-year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is go to athleticgreens.com, and the promo code is what, Jesse Blake?
SDP.
That's right, it is. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/SDP to take ownership of your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when we first heard about Mint Mobile and how it offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, we thought, okay, there's got to be a catch to this, right? But after talking to them, using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one catch. It's amazing. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they are the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores and pass those savings directly on to you. For those who just hate looking at your phone bill, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate, whether you're buying for one or a family. And at Mint, you can start at at 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text and high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/STP. That's mintmobile.com/STP. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month. Come on. It's mintmobile.com/STP. Listen, you guys can say whatever you want to say, but last night, Nick Ritchie was the third star. Okay.
Was he?
He was the third star. He had both of Arizona's goals against Pittsburgh. And so I just need you to know in a 6-2 game, Nick Ritchie was the third star.
Dude, he's done well there. He's done well in Arizona.
Don't you dare diss those Coyotes.
All I'm saying is, remember I said I drafted Sidney Crosby in fantasy? Happy boy.
Yeah, you happy?
Happy boy right here.
Jesse, did you how much of the
And Tyler Seguin got me 3 assists. Holy shit.
Jesse's throwing up, by the way, he's throwing up clips of the freaking Rangers games now. Like, he's like, I've always been here. They've always been my people.
What are you talking about?
New York, always been mine.
Just they had a really good game last night. You know?
You're that Will Sasso sketch.
Which one is that?
What's good?
I'm trying to. Was it Will Sasso? You're going to start using the word bodega like any day now. You're a fake New Yorker. I went to this little bodega called Circle K. Got me some ketchup chips.
The New York Rangers are absolutely on fire, putting up 7 goals.
Yeah, man.
Second game of the year. They've looked there's nothing, because Adam, your criticism of the Rangers was like, oh, how can they keep this up if Igor stands on his head, if he doesn't do that anymore, how are they ever going to do that? Well, when they score 7 goals, they don't need an all-world goaltender. And the offense is absolutely clicking.
That is true.
Laugh looks great.
Yeah, I mean, it's too early in the season, but, we're talking about President's Trophy picks. They look pretty good.
Okay.
They look pretty
The two of
good.
you have not made your Stanley Cup picks.
Oh.
Do I got it?
Right now?
Like right this minute?
Who do you think is going to win the 2023 Stanley Cup, Adam Wild?
2023 Stanley Cup, I am going to give to... You ready? I never bet against...
New Jersey Devils.
New Jersey Devils, no. I think I'm going to give it to the Calgary Flames, guys.
It's not a terrible pick.
I'm picking the Calgary Flames. And I think the reason is there's a lot of good vibes. The V-Bays are strong. And I think that they're a little pissed off about what happened last year. Like, if you look at this. Oh, they beat the defending Stanley Cup champion, Colorado Avalanche. Suck on that, producer Drew. And I think here's the crazy thing is they didn't. Some of their stars scored, like Lindholm, but they weren't relying on all big names here to score. That is a deep, scary team. And I don't think anybody's picking them. Maybe there's a reason why. Maybe I'm an idiot. But I feel like that team is good enough to be a Final Four team minimum. Should be a Final Four team. They should compete with, and I know Elliot Friedman picked the Oilers to win the Cup. I think he's crazy. I think it's the Calgary Flames, guys. Top to bottom, that's a strong team.
Who's your pick?
You just gave me a look.
Mm-hmm.
You say the Leafs. Say it.
What am I thinking right now? Because I think you know what I'm thinking.
It's something about Calgary, right?
No.
No?
What am I thinking?
Say it.
Guys, New York looks really good.
Boo! Get out!
Let's go, New York! Concrete jungle!
Where dreams are made.
Wet dream tomato!
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that. Can I just be the one to say I never liked that song?
Oh, boo.
It's such a
pop song.
It's meh.
It's meh for a pop song.
Oh, boo.
Yeah. I mean, really.
You don't have that Empire State of Mind.
I guess I don't. I got that.
Jay-Z doesn't write his raps down.
I got that.
No, but what if you did?
I got the Olympics. Yeah, when he was calling himself the greatest rapper alive, I was like, okay, let's gear down a little.
You guys are being very disrespectful.
The alive is a very important distinction.
Yes.
Because,
Lil Wayne was doing the same thing at the same time, and Lil Wayne had it on his stage where he said, greatest rapper alive in flames. And like...
Absolutely the fuck not.
No, I know. If you've ever heard Lil Wayne's rock album, though, that's a one for the ages. Prom Queen?
It's
bad.
Jay-Z's got a lot of albums.
I know. I mean, Lil Wayne's rock.
Oh
album.
no, I know.
Who's your Stanley Cup pick?
I think it might be New York. I think it might be New York.
No, you guys need Olympic.
You are a bandwagoner. Welcome aboard.
It's so
Not me though. I've been here.
I'm looking at it's early season results, right? But we put too much stock into how good Igor Shesterkin is and not enough stock in the staggering firepower that team has.
Mm.
But okay, goals go away in the playoffs a little bit. The game changes and it becomes a little bit rougher and a little bit more defensive. I think they can do that.
But so can Calgary.
So can Calgary. Oh, dude, would anyone be shocked to see a Rangers Flames final?
I don't think so.
No, that
Not
would
at
make a lot of
all.
sense.
I don't think so. Assuming
all.
Calgary doesn't go, we forgot how to play hockey in the second round against the Oilers because they're going to meet again this year.
That was the weirdest, one of the
It was
weirdest
weird.
series I've ever seen.
And it was so anti Daryl Sutter. Like that's not how he has his teams play.
They blew a
A
6-1 lead?
and then but still won. But
Or
it was bad.
6-2?
Yeah.
It was just very strange.
So to your point, one thing I was looking at, because I picked up a lot of Rangers players in fantasy, obviously, because I'm riding them. I think they're going to be very
One
good.
mistake. I should have got more Rangers.
So I have Panarin and I think I have Kreider.
You got both?
Yeah, in my forward groups. I went hard. So they go against Tampa. Versus Tampa, they get a goal from Gaudreau, Zibanejad. They win 3-1. Next night, they put up 7 goals. Neither Zibanejad or Gaudreau score. They get goals from the other parts of the lineup. And it's so dangerous because it's not about the goaltending this year. It's about this firepower in the top 3 lines where everyone can score goals.
Mike Rupp was losing his mind last night about Capo Caco.
Oh, yeah.
Laugh looks good.
And then you have Adam Fox, who's going to be in contention every single year with Cale Makar for the next decade. About those two going 1-to-1 about who's the best defenseman in the league.
Man.
And then you have Igor, which is the side note.
I think Makar's got that wrapped up, but it's up to Adam Fox to prove us all wrong.
Wouldn't it be funny if Adam Fox lost the Stanley Cup to the Calgary Flames?
Oh, I forgot about that.
Wouldn't that be hilarious?
The team that drafted him. And
Team he refused to play for.
Yeah. That was a big thing.
That's a big thing that no one made a big thing of at the time.
No.
And no one, I would love to go back and re-examine what the hell happened there.
the Rangers are Adam Fox's third NHL team.
Yeah, Carolina too?
Carolina.
Because they
right.
traded him to Carolina and the Carolina traded him to New York.
Yeah, and I don't think I'm not sure he ever played a game for Carolina. I don't remember.
Because who was the guy that they traded? It was the guy that the Leafs almost selected, the defenseman
Oh, I don't remember.
that they got for Fox. Calgary got for Fox. What's his name?
I don't remember. Oh, Shillington?
No.
I don't
Come
remember.
on, guys.
I don't remember.
You
was
don't remember
Dougie
the Mitch
Hamilton
Marner draft?
involved?
Oh,
in this?
Hannafin?
Hannafin. It was the
Oh,
Hannafin
I'm thinking of
Fox,
Hannafin,
right?
not
And then it
Hamilton.
was because Hannafin came to, and then Fox went to New York.
Why don't we
after
just
that.
look it up?
Yeah,
Nah,
let's just
fuck
look it up.
I like this
Because
better.
Fox was like a third-round pick.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, man.
Give me a
Yeah, they look really good. Like, I'm trying to think of teams who are going to do well in the regular
But that's the
season.
story for me.
Yeah.
I want Adam Fox to come in if it can't be the Leafs, because it can't. Just so you know, I want Adam Fox to have to play in Calgary and watch the Flames hoist him on
I was
his own
right
petard.
about Dougie Hamilton being involved in this. All right, so
Dougie Hamilton.
The original trade was the Calgary Flames traded Adam Fox, Dougie Hamilton, and Michael Ferland to Carolina for Elias Lindholm and Noah Hannafin. That's one hell
That's
of a blockbuster.
It's a good trade if you keep Fox.
Yeah, and the Carolina...
And people forget how good Ferland was, too.
Yeah, he was good.
Carolina traded Adam Fox to New York for a second-round pick, and that was it.
Oh!
Not their
Wow.
greatest.
And then
The Devon Taves gets shit on. This one's worse.
the 2 second-round picks became Mad Sogard and
My favorite Mads.
Noel Gunler.
My favorite Gunler.
I assume they're both going to be like future 35 goal scorers.
Because that's all Carolina does.
Yeah.
Oh,
But-
that guy will score 30 goals. Let's go.
Very
New
good.
York won that trade.
So far.
Very good player. Very good player. Very good player.
Yeah.
New York got a Norris winner out of it. They won. They won, man.
You're welcome, Rangers fans, because now the Steve Dangle Podcast has daily Rangers updates.
Steve Dangle Podcast, official podcast of your New York Rangers.
Woo! Let's go, Bodegas.
Times Square.
Bodegas.
The M&M store.
Can we...
Broadway. What else?
Lady Liberty. Lady Liberty.
The biggest serving of pasta ever at Carmine's. They don't have pizza.
No.
No, they
pizza.
have a slice. They have a slice. Also, as long as we're talking about slang, Jesse, I don't know what you're talking about. The Rangers scored 7 goals?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. Oh, you mean they put up a 7 spot?
Is that a thing?
They put up a 7 spot. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the new thing. I don't know when everyone decided to say that when it came to hockey.
I'd like to bring us back on track for a minute.
Please. Back on tracksuit. Yeah. There.
You two are out of control today.
It's fucking
You're out of
Friday.
fucking control, and we need to have a show. And I'm trying to get through some shit, and you guys are just off in your own whatever.
Steve
You're gonna have some Smarties.
Steve had too much of the Halloween candy.
The
on
hell
the
is
desk.
going on over there with you two? But we got to bring it back, and we got to talk about this. Jesse, Steve, you guys are going to a hockey game. Don't even look at my computer. Don't even look. You're going to a hockey game. Who's paying?
Me for mine and Jesse for his because
Okay.
we're adults.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Or I'll pay with the understanding that next game we go to,
Yeah.
you pay like rounds at a bar.
Okay.
Or you do the thing where it's like your buddy's tickets. You're like, oh, I have season tickets. I'll bring you to the game, and then I buy the beer for you.
Right.
And then I end up spending like $40 in beer, and then we're
So,
like
okay.
not even. But
That's
it's
what
like,
producer
whatever.
Drew and I did.
So let's do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
what I
who's-
did with.
Who's
TJ
got the
last
Leaf
night.
season tickets here?
Steve,
Me,
in this
for sake of
scenario.
argument.
Yeah.
So Jesse,
Yeah.
Steve says to you in the first period, you know, I'm kind of hungry. I'm feeling like something salty, like popcorn. Okay.
I love smashing a bag of popcorn.
Right? Well, how about a bucket of popcorn?
Oh.
And Jesse goes and he goes like, okay,
How
you know
about
what?
a trough?
Jesse's a smart guy, right? Jesse knows from countless dates and countless dates with Steve and I that popcorn makes you thirsty. So you want to drink something with it, right? Okay.
This popcorn is making me thirsty.
And I don't know what that's from, but I know.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's pretzels.
These,
Oh,
these
pretzels.
pretzels.
Oh, that's what
It's a show that takes place in New York. Oh,
There were quite a couple episodes in Rangers games. You know.
tourists.
Okay, so Jesse goes to the stand where he gets up out of his seat and he goes and he grabs popcorn, but he's like, I'm not going to share a bag with Steve. Steve's a grown man; he can eat his own bag or his own bucket in this case. And we're going to get 2 drinks too, because Jesse wants popcorn, Steve wants popcorn, 2 drinks.
And he's got to get the custom-made bucket for his hands. He
Yeah,
wants
the souvenir
wider-
bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And don't be goofy about this. Seriously, how much would you estimate that cost? Like two things of popcorn, like this.
The
right?
souvenir buckets. Those are like $18.
Not a piece. $18 a piece. Come on.
18
No,
bucks
I
a
told you to be serious about it.
Okay, is it a
And-
bucket?
And it's not a souvenir bucket, by the way.
It's a bag.
okay.
It's a
It's a
paper
bag?
bag.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Or it's a cardboard
No,
bucket.
the ones at the Rogers Center are seriously $15.
Okay.
The ones with the Blue Jays.
Okay,
thing
well,
you
it's
can
not
take home.
it's not one of those. It's not like
Okay,
a Leafs
okay.
thing. That's
Okay.
fair. Those are more expensive. I'm talking about a bucket that it looks like a gigantic coffee cup.
All right. Oh, $10.
20. Well, because it's
Oh,
two big
we're
bags of
doing-
popcorn and 2 drinks.
What kind of is it? Beer or a soda?
Soda.
Soda. Okay.
Yeah, that drops the price.
Yeah. What if I don't drink soda?
Just fucking go with it.
You have to.
I'm so
I
upset
get
with
a
these two.
Dasani?
right
you
now.
drove.
I like Dasani.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You want a
Do
Dasani?
you?
Okay, you can have a Dasani
Go
then.
ahead. Go ahead.
I wanted Dasani.
You can.
Okay, so
I'm regretting coming to this game.
So the 2 popcorns are 10 each,
Okay.
and then the drinks are I don't know 6, 5,
So 10 each. So we're looking at
$30.
$30
$30
for 2
This
fountain
looks so low.
Pepsis and 2 popcorns at the Oilers game. Without tax, $36.50.
Without tax.
If you had said to Jesse, can I have a cheeseburger? No fries.
No fries.
With a fountain pop. Okay? So a Pepsi, because they have Pepsi products. They don't even have Dasani. They have Dasani's
Dasani's
Coca-Cola.
Yeah. They have Aquafina?
Yeah.
And I'll throw this out there.
Aquafina.
Okay.
Burger, horrible hockey game food.
Yeah.
It's a terrible hockey game food.
Because you got to eat
That's
it
a
in your
very good thing.
folding chair and get shit
it's
all over you.
Yeah.
No,
it's not.
put that in the good takes file.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
very
good
good.
take.
You get chicken fingers or something that you can eat with your hands easily.
People get upset when I say that the sushi at the Scotiabank Arena is bad. I think it's actually really good.
You've never been more wrong about anything.
And it's so easy to eat. It's like little chopstick.
I don't think I've ever had it.
Oh, it's delicious.
I love sushi.
I love sushi. I was like, I'll eat sushi any day.
Sushi you get at like Metro.
No,
in
it's-
the fuck, at the
Oh, the
fucking
bento
thing.
box?
Yeah.
It's elevated bento. They made it that night. It's not gas station sushi, Jesse.
I love a bento box.
They make bento the day of too.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
you
anyway.
shut your mouth. I love a bento box.
So the home style cheeseburger with a fountain pop, not a beer, $22 flat.
For a
And
burger?
it's flat?
No, but there's no fries
For a burger and a drink.
for a burger and sugar water, carbonated sugar water.
I need to know how much a beer is.
For a beef sandwich, and you got to remember, Alberta beef is the greatest, and a beer, a draft beer, so a domestic, $30.50.
Come on! Holy
All right, now
shit!
you guys mentioned earlier. So if you wanted to eat something, you guys want to have dinner. What would you both order? You just both mentioned it.
Something outside the arena.
Yeah.
Like chicken fingers. or
Bingo.
something,
Yeah, chicken fingers.
So chicken
Yeah,
fingers
those
and
are good
fries
meals.
with a beer. Yeah. Chicken fingers, you have to remember, are just pieces of chicken breaded, and fries are potatoes cut up and fried.
It's child
They're
food.
extremely cheap to make.
It's child food.
$30
For chicken fingers and fries.
and a beer.
And a beer.
Now, if you
Which
wanted to
costs
get
more?
now, if you guys were both bad take food kings at the arena in Edmonton, and you both wanted burgers because you're crazy, because you're right.
So it's 2 burgers.
2 burgers and 2 fountain drinks and some Lay's chips, and it's those bags of Lay's chips you get on Halloween that are always just a third full. It's not they're mostly air.
You ever open one that had nothing?
Yes, I have the Humpty Dumpty ones. I opened; they had nothing.
The worst offenders.
The worst.
Easily the worst offenders.
Yeah, they're like, just seal it up. Who cares? Some kid's gonna cry about it. Who cares?
Screw Timmy.
For 2 cheeseburgers, 2 Lay's chips, and 2 fountain pops. What do you think?
I think you should tell us.
$55.
Go to jail! Go to jail now!
No fries.
Is it
No fries.
wrong that this makes me feel bad because it like they're gouging their fans and their customers? Because once you're in the arena, if you want to eat, you have to buy something.
It's Harold
You can't
Ballard
leave.
energy. It's Harold Ballard.
This
Big-
is so
big Harold Ballard energy.
mean.
Now, I
What
know
the fuck.
some of you are going to be confused because we guessed $30 for the popcorn and drinks. That's all. You're not. You're never
ridiculous.
happy about the arena price. So that's our probably over the top guess of what we would expect the high end to be that we would be grumpy about, and it's more.
Right.
At 30, I would have been upset.
55? Holy cow!
That's rude and disrespectful.
Your cheapest option on the menu for a combo on this particular menu
It's to starve.
is an all beef hot dog, which is basically the leftover meat. They put it into a stick and put it on a
Don't
cheap
ruin
bun.
it for me, la la la.
Okay. And then they give you a beer too.
$20.
$20.75 for a hot dog and a beer.
27.
I'd
20
fight them tooth and nail.
The
for
average
75 cents.
what like minimum wage in Ontario, you'd have to work over an hour. You have to work an hour and a half to afford that with tax.
Shit,
It's like $15 now.
dude.
That is crazy.
Is that the worst in the league?
I don't know, because you'd have to have somebody who was able to dig up 32 arena prices, and we still don't know what the Coyotes is because they're not done.
Like Toronto's bad.
Toronto's yes, Toronto's bad. I bet New York's bad. Bet Boston's bad.
So I'm on the Scotiabank Arena site, and I was trying to see if they had the prices, but they just list what foods they have. They don't have the actual prices of the food. You have to be in the arena and take pictures.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
They don't want to get Twittered like Edmonton did.
Yeah. Well, somebody took a picture of it. So, and then here's the fun thing. Apparently, jerseys are expensive at the team store, more expensive than other teams. And now, if you want to watch anything Oilers, including the press conferences, you have to pay, is it $8.99 or $7.99 a month for Oilers Plus? Now, if you're not familiar with what Oilers Plus is, it's everything to do with the Oilers digitally, but you got to pay a subscription fee, which is the same subscription fee that you paid for Netflix 10 years ago. And you're getting nada.
Did we open Pandora's box?
What do you mean?
Like with Netflix? And like, oh yeah, this is great. And oh, there's this other one. Oh, that's great. And then there's this, and that's great. And all of a sudden, you're subscribed to 20 damn things for $9.99 a month, and you're paying $20 bajillion yearly for everything. I will die before I pay for post-game press conferences. You'll have to take me to jail. You'll have to kill me. $9 a month?
What's that
This
TikTok
is a
sound?
lot.
You'll have to kill me. You know, what is that?
If you want to charge me for post-game press conferences, you're going to have to kill me!
Oh, that was the girl who was like trying to break up with her boyfriend.
Yeah.
No,
Or something.
I don't remember.
No.
I didn't watch the show. I saw it in passing when SL watched it.
Compare and contrast this with the Flames, who started last night by saying, and this is all thanks to a tweet from Pete Blackburn, the first 5,000 fans ages 18 plus in attendance tomorrow will receive one complimentary domestic 14-ounce draft beer.
Where's this?
Calgary.
Oh, nice.
Because the Edmonton thing went viral, so the Flames were like, yeah.
Is that legal?
In Alberta, it is. In Ontario, that would not be legal.
Because you're not allowed to you're not allowed to give out beer on the street and stuff. If they have like a Muskoka brewery truck like handing out free beers, you have to give them like a penny.
Yeah,
you know,
you can't induce drinking. Yeah. Whereas in Alberta, it's like, well, you're an adult. That's the one. Like Alberta, Alberta has some crazy shit happening. Let's not lie here. But to be honest with you, when it comes to their liquor laws, they're like, you're an adult, take care of yourself.
Well, I've told the story before, but in Saskatchewan, when you're leaving a restaurant, you can be like, and also I'll take like a jug of beer to go.
Yep.
A jug.
Yep.
A big.
And it's crazy because the world hasn't ended out there.
Right.
It's very weird.
It's wild that the world hasn't ended.
Europe is cool for you can have takeaway beer. You know, you can't do a glass, but you can do a plastic cup, and you just fucking drink on the street. It's fucking
like
awesome.
when they legalized drinking before noon in Ontario, which was years ago at the airport. That was a big thing, and then now it's 24 hours. You can get a drink at any time at the airport, and like that was like a big to do 2 years ago, pre-pandemic. Nobody remembers that now because it's pre-pandemic. It was like, oh, wow. Because at 8:59 you can't get a drink. 9 o'clock you can, or you could anyway.
And then now they still like you're still not allowed to drink before a certain time, except when the Olympics are happening, and they change the laws so that you can open the bar. Say the Team Canada game's happening at 9 a.m. They'll change the law for that day so that you can drink at 9 a.m. in a bar. So fucking stupid.
Favorite East Coaster story I ever heard is two Newfoundlanders. This is a real story. We're in a airport in Halifax. And the guy goes, "You want to get a beer?" And the guy goes, "What? It's 10:30." He's like, "Yeah, it's 11 back home."
Yeah, they're half an hour different from everybody else.
It's 11 back home. It's fine.
That's good.
Except said with a Newfoundlander accent. Dude, that's
wild.
That's really bad.
Mean.
And they already charge fans to stand in the concourse.
Oh
they
yeah,
have standing tickets.
Playoffs.
Yeah.
Do they still do they do that during the regular season as well, guys?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, I understand paying for that. I understand that a little bit, standing in the concourse during the playoffs and just wanting to be a part of the energy. I totally get that.
I understand that more than $9.99 a month to watch the post gamers
and they
go to jail.
If you've ever watched a post game for anyone, for some reason, no team has yet figured out how to use a microphone on the person asking the question. So for whatever reason, you'll hear, yeah, well, Chris, you know, the thing is, we really believe in such and such player, and we think he's great. And you're like, who asked that? I'm assuming that's CJ. I don't know. And what are they talking about? No idea. No fucking clue. At no point has anybody said, you know what? Let's bring on an intern who's in the media department. Let's pay them a rate, and let's have them go through the audience and go, here's the microphone. Here's the microphone. And make them watchable.
It's impossible.
No, couldn't. I bet the Oilers didn't either.
You can't listen.
You're listening to a one-sided conversation the entire time.
There for $9.99 a month. That person better be The Rock.
Should we
Who was at the Leafs?
Should we talk about how we did that? What? How on the Wednesday show we talked about The Rock, and then all of a sudden he's at a Leafs
Did we
game?
talk about The Rock on Wednesday?
Yeah, a lot. You told the whole story about WrestleMania, and then we also talked about how he was corny and all that stuff.
So you were at WrestleMania 18. Can you describe what it was like there?
You mean
Adam, sometimes you have the memory of a goldfish.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
That's just
Guys, you knew that about me. You've always known that.
Can we play The Rock?
Can we play The Rock?
Yeah, from the game.
I don't know.
It's on their Instagram.
I'd say no.
If you hear us wondering about this, the problem we have is that if we play the wrong audio from the wrong source, we could get a copyright strike.
Yeah.
And then that could put our channel into jeopardy, and we don't want to do that. But we used to be able to run like audio from shows that were on like we used to be able to take audio from press conferences, audio from TV shows that were like in intermission. We'd be able to play a clip or something like that. We used to do that in the early days. And now the rules have been so tightened that it's like, well, no, that's part of our broadcast. You can't have that. Even if it's for news purposes, which is weird because on the radio, I can play whatever I want because it's considered for news purposes. But you can't do it in this particular instance. I don't know.
Jesse has it up, but hopefully not on the screen because this I think would fall under
it's their copyright,
like
even though we're
in arena production.
But when you put it on Twitter, what's supposed to happen is it becomes a part of the public domain. You're not supposed to actually, once everything that makes it to Twitter that is officially posted is supposed to be, okay, that's now Twitter's. And Twitter makes that the public domain. That's how Instagram looks at it too.
Leafs in arena host Scott.
I love Scotty.
With the
Scotty Willits, baby.
Hardest handshake of all time with The Rock. Just because you have to.
He also has a good, solid handshake in general.
I feel like enough time has passed. I can tell this story. One time outside of Gracie O'Malley's, I met a friend and, Steve, what are you doing here? And I've been having a great night. I'm like, hey, man, it's great to see you. He's like, I got to introduce you. And I'm like, what? To Brett Laurie, like from the Blue Jays.
What? Oh.
And I was like, what the? Hey, man. And he was jacked about something. Really happy about life. And I dapped him up at least 8 times.
Really?
Like just, and every time he body checked me. And I felt my organs slosh into each other. He is maybe a third of the size of The Rock.
Yeah. The Rock's quite big.
At that giant man.
You guys have talked about The Rock being at Scotiabank Arena last night to promote Black Adam.
In front of the millions. Oh, you left me hanging.
And you have yet to mention that he got the chant wrong.
Let's go Leafs! Let's go Leafs! And in the most Canadian moment ever, 20,000 people in unison went, that's not what it is. Let's go Leafs! We were too polite to correct Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and we all chanted his wrong chant.
Did you guys not lose it watching that last night? I laughed my ass off. It was so funny.
I was very caught off guard, and I love Matthew's account of it, which is what the fuck? That's The Rock. None of the players knew, and that's why they won last.
Ilya Samsonov did not know who The Rock was.
I want to believe him.
No, Mike Stevens said.
That's fair.
Yeah?
Everybody doesn't know everybody.
No, it's true. I remember one time.
The Rock?
Everybody doesn't know everybody.
You can't know The Rock by accident?
Yeah, no.
You would think that he would know a little. I remember, you guys know the artist Zed, the DJ?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Clarity.
Yeah, it was his big hit, but he's also done a ton of production, whatever. So he came into Kiss when I worked at Kiss early on. And that was just when Clarity had come out. So he's just, rising, and he's producing Lady Gaga's album. And that's going to come. So there's a lot going on. And my co-host at the time made a Simpsons reference, and I laughed, and I forget what the reference was. And he looked, and he's like, I'm sorry, guys, I don't know what's going on. And my co-host looks at him, and he's like, oh, it's the Simpsons. And Zed's like, I grew up in Eastern Europe. We never got to watch that.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh, yeah. So I can see it, man.
The Simpsons, something we take, but like,
yeah.
What do you mean you've never seen Jumanji?
I've
The new one. What do you mean you've never seen Jumanji, the new one?
No one saw that.
Ilya, we need to show him Jumanji, the new one.
I thought somebody could have given The Rock a heads up that the chant is "Go Leafs, go."
No. It's much, much better.
I bet
that the star of Jumanji, the new one, got the chant wrong in front of 20,000 people, and 20,000 people just went along with it.
Right.
You know what I loved about Disney? I loved about Disney's Jumanji is how much different it was than Disney's Jungle Cruise. Which was also a Rock movie. We'd mentioned
They're
this
all
last
the same.
Yeah,
Now we're getting back to the exact same conversation.
Sorry.
It's like WrestleMania 18 when he fought Hulk Hogan.
Adam, do you know a thing or two about
And
that?
one was supposed to be the good guy and the other was supposed to be the bad guy. And Toronto said, I put my thing down, flip it, and reverse it, and cheered for the wrong guy. But it ended up being the right guy.
Little did we know at the time that Jumanji, the new one, would be out in 15 years. We didn't know. I thought that was a line you took from someone.
Remake.
I know.
No. I think we...
It's a marginal movie at best.
I honestly think we manifested this. A Leafs podcast spent 10 minutes talking about The Rock, and then a day later, he's at the
And
Leafs
would we
game.
be a Leafs podcast if we didn't immediately take credit for it?
We did it. We did this.
It's us.
Well done, guys.
It's me.
We did it.
All right, what's next?
Oh, what is next? The hell do you guys want to talk about? Making fun of me for telling my stories. Okay? Not the only one on this show who repeats shit, all right? 10 years I've been doing this show. I got limited stories, all right? We put out over 130 episodes last season.
Adam,
What?
What do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about?
What do you want to talk about?
I mean...
It doesn't matter what you want to talk about.
How did you fall for that?
Yes, you know it was coming. Let's go. Let's go.
You know what? Why don't we just do a press conference?
What?
Let's do it.
If you were to say, if you answer this question, it's a tricky one, without getting too personal, why would you say to somebody trying therapy is a great option?
Because it makes your head feel better.
Is that how you, is that the generic way of saying that?
No, what I would say is it makes life easier to navigate.
Right. Jesse, what about you?
We always use this example, but like you should exercise and take care of yourself. And we've discovered over the last number of years that your mental health is a part of that. Mm-hmm. It's just as important as your physical health. So you need therapy. If you might need therapy to help your mental health.
You might want therapy.
Yeah.
And this is the thing about therapy is you don't have to need it for it to be beneficial. Sometimes you just want it. And sometimes you feel a little bit more like yourself, or you want to feel a little less stressed. You want to feel a little more confident. You want to help. I mean, God, who doesn't have tricky family situations that they need to negotiate? And, you're trying to figure out relationships that are 40 years old. So here's what we want you to do. We want you to check out BetterHelp.com/STP today to get 10% off your first month. Remember, BetterHelp is a great option. It's convenient, it's accessible, it's affordable. You can get matched with a therapist after filling out a brief survey and switch therapists at any time. When you find somebody that you vibe with, then you'll want to stick with them. It's BetterHelp. Better, BetterHelp.com/STP for 10% off your first month. Guys, I've asked you this before. I'm going to ask you again. Are you taking care of them?
Are you going to work in like turkey into this one? Is it going to be
no, because
Thanksgiving?
Canadians have already done Thanksgiving, and then you've got American Thanksgiving in 6 weeks.
And we don't really even care about Thanksgiving.
Canadians?
It's not a big
I
deal.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
But like American Thanksgiving is way bigger and better. And
I had
you want to
leftovers for breakfast.
There you go.
Great.
And while you're consuming that turkey, he wants me to
stuffing and
square
gravy
peg
at
round
9 in the
hole
morning.
this.
Yeah.
You might want to check out the Platinum Package 4.0. In fact, when American Thanksgiving rolls around, that's when you start thinking Christmas gift. Platinum Package 4.0. With this glorious package, you can align your entire hygiene routine in one swoop. Inside is a 10-part Platinum Package. Everything you need to know and everything you need to perform, plus some shower goodies and elevating your grooming game. Yes.
Would you say the Manscaped 4.0 would carve your turkey?
I would say
it would not. No nicks.
No nicks on your butter balls.
Hey! Go to manscaped.com and get 20% off and free shipping with the code DANGLE. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com when you use that promo code DANGLE. Manscaped, clear out the leaves. It's your tree trunk's time to shine.
Cook that bird.
Cornucopia on your scrotum.
Want to bet?
Yes,
Wanna?
that meant yes. Yeah.
Listen,
Less threatening.
You can do it at Sports Interaction. It's Canada's sportsbook. Football is in full swing. Baseball playoffs.
Still going for
Not
us.
for the
us.
Jays.
No.
Thank you, Jesse.
The hockey season, which starts this week, is fabulous as well. We got a ton of props that we're going over with David Bassel, but you can bet pregame, you can bet live and play, or one of the many prop bets, which we've brought up before on the show. Made for Canadians by Canadians. Sports Interaction makes it easy for you to deposit, to play, and to cash out. Join now and see all that sports betting has to offer. Head to sportsinteraction.com/STPN. That is sportsinteraction.com/
STPN.
Thank you. Ontario only, 18 plus. Please play responsibly.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
All right, Steve. You're Steve Austin in Edmonton ordering a beer.
I'm gonna have a beer.
What?
2 beers.
What?
I'm out of money.
Damn you, Kates. Oh, man. So, Jesse, what do we have? Because I know you put out the call early, so we've got some time and we got some questions.
People are ramped up for the beginning of the season. We got over 100 questions on Twitter after I sent it out last night. I wanted to find the one about the boards.
The question
was basically, what do you guys think about the new digital boards? Because they've been acting up a little, and the technology hasn't been perfected.
Yeah, so I was looking at that, and I think my main issue with it is the hue of the entire rink changes every time the digital boards. It goes from like a yellow hue to a very dark icy blue hue within a couple of seconds, and then snaps back. And I think, I get it. It's a new technology. TV revenues are way down, and they're not what they used to because people aren't watching TV the same way anymore. So you got to find ways to make more money, and corporations are greedy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I get it all. I get that. I'm all for making money, and I'm all for, people have the same complaints when they put ads on the boards in the first place. You look at the boards from the 70s, no ads on the boards.
What do you mean it's not a chain link fence anymore?
Exactly. So this was going to happen. I do think it'll be some adjusting. I do think you have to give them a few games to get it right. But if we're still noticing this at game 40, I'm like, okay, every broadcaster in the country, and it's not just Sportsnet, it's not just TSN. I think ESPN's doing it too, and TNT. If you guys can't get this right by game 40, then this is on you.
Yeah.
And I'm giving them a lot of leeway. It shouldn't be distracting. It was distracting in Montreal.
Last night I was watching it, and I'm like, okay, is this so bad that it's taking away from my viewing experience, or am I letting it do that?
Have you ever thought that with just a static board, though?
Well, no.
We shouldn't notice that the boards are fake.
Yes.
And that they're digitized.
Yes.
And you can tell, especially
every time there's a camera change.
every time there's a camera change, especially. But then even just a player going up against it, it'll be a little glitchy.
Yes.
It's not one way. You needed to perfect the technology before you showed us.
The really bad one was in the Edmonton Vancouver game. So last night I'm like, okay, it's a little distracting. I assume the technology will get better, and we probably will get used to it and won't mind in a while. That's what I hope. Mm-hmm. Anyway, but what happened in the Edmonton Vancouver game, that can't happen.
Yeah, where a player disappeared.
What if I miss a goal because, dude, video games glitch enough as it is. Real life should not glitch.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Real life should not glitch.
It feels like, and somebody mentioned the frame rate that the cameras are at, as well as the digitized board, doesn't seem to be the exact same, and I feel that because they're not smooth enough in motion, and it shouldn't feel like these real life people are sitting inside of a simulation inside the Matrix playing hockey. It should just feel like they're all there in a real life scenario. But right now, it kind of feels like they're sitting inside of a video game. And I don't like that. So
here's the issue I have, right? Your product, the thing that makes the most money in hockey, it's not what we do. It's not what they do in the intermission. It's the game. The game makes the money. Once the game stops, the ratings fall off a cliff. And that's just the way it is with intermission shows. And that's not because the intermission shows aren't good. It just means people are like up getting a beer or whatever, and the game is why you come in. So when it's like in radio. In radio, our whole job is like play music and then talk a little bit, and hopefully people like you, but don't get too much of the way of the music. If I were to go on the radio and our main product is playing music and go woo with the volume, people would have an issue with that. And what?
How didn't you ever do that once?
I should have done it
just to be silly,
just to mess with you. And so what I feel like they're doing right now is they're kind of going up and down the television equivalent of going up and down with the volume and messing with their own product just to get some ads on the air. And it doesn't mean that I don't completely understand the need for those ads. Like, listen, media is in big shit in a lot of cases, guys. Like, you have to understand, especially in Canada, we don't have the population size to scale the way that the States do. And we've seen a lot of cutbacks. We've seen a lot of quote unquote job redundancies, meaning that basically one person has to, now do 4 different jobs that were done by 4 different people 20 years ago. I want them to make more money so they'll hire more people. But I do also think that the thing that you have that people actually still, buy cable for, that people still subscribe for, is the product on the ice. And when you're messing with the product on the ice, and it was distracting. Listen, I know I'm tough on broadcast, but I feel like we should be. You got to be that ice when that camera is facing the ice. That's sacred. That's the thing that people came for. So make sure that it's not a distraction. And I don't care how many times you ran a test versus Montreal, less so last night, but versus Montreal, it was an enormous distraction. It was.
I think I was too nervous for the game to notice it.
It was driving me nuts.
I'm a nightmare before LFR1.
Are you?
Every year.
Okay, well then
16 times.
But again, give them time to sort it out. And hopefully they do. And one thing that they've instituted years ago was the on glass advertising. Like, you used to see Panago Pizza on the Western games above the goalies.
Yeah.
You'd never know. And the on ice advertising, the guys skating over it, they're able to do that no problem. I'm not sure why the boards are an issue. Because like a lot of the ads you see on the ice are not actually there, right?
Which
they're not painted on the ice.
I'm not gonna lie, I never knew.
But that's why it's so effective. You shouldn't know. That's the point. You should not know. You shouldn't know that the boards are changing. It should just be like the ad's there and the ad's gone. That's what it should be.
Yeah. That's
my point.
I don't think it's a unreasonable ask that
Game 41 have it sorted out.
Yeah, the main product be the sport.
Yeah.
I was looking for the question. I found it at the end of our question. Shout out Wes Hart, who mentioned the refresh rate of the cameras and asked the question about the digital boards. Second question comes from Norman. Norman says, how would you reward the President's Trophy winners? So do you think there should be some sort of reward if you win the President's Trophy to make it mean something? Should you be able to choose your first round opponent, get an automatic pass to the second round, get an additional draft pick? Do you think there should be a reward for the President's Trophy?
Okay.
I think it's a cool concept.
I kind of like the idea of an additional draft pick. That's really interesting because, I know the NHL is very insecure about teams tanking. Rewarding a team for doing the best is a really interesting concept.
I've always loved the idea of rewarding the best of the worst. Like, have a tournament that starts as soon as people are eliminated from the playoffs, and whoever gets the most points.
We've debated that for like 5 years on this podcast now. It's a really good concept. As soon as you're eliminated from the playoffs, then you start racking up point totals for the number 1 draft pick. Yeah. So it's a competition.
KHL tried it.
And?
The Cup of Hope.
And?
You don't need to give a cup. You
Leaf
just need to give a draft order.
Leaf legend Michael Telquist won it with Dino Moriga.
Oh.
And I don't think they ever did it again.
No? They didn't keep it going? I
don't think so.
I like it.
It's an interesting idea. I think the one I would prefer the most is you get to pick your opponent. I won the President's Trophy.
That's cool.
I'm the best team. And like, it happens. Like, what if a nightmare team like just gets ridiculously hot? Like, think back to 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember if the Blues had home ice advantage in the first round or not. Who on earth wanted to play the St. Louis Blues?
Nobody.
In 2019. And if I win the President's Trophy, I should have the option to not do that. I know they weren't a wild card team, but I'm just trying to use them as an example.
Well, and what a compelling storyline if you pick the team that you lose to.
Oh yeah,
of course.
You get euchred by your own team, by your own pick.
Like what? That's instant bulletin board material.
It's great.
And no, that is fantastic.
You can't.
So I like that. I also like the draft pick idea, but you got to.
Would it be? Where would it be? What's a fair extra draft pick at the end of what round?
Like, I think you need to get the first pick of the
second round,
like the second or third round, something like that.
It's the same
so
thing.
Everyone just gets blanket.
That's the exact same thing.
No.
As the end of the other one.
Yeah, but you can't say you get an additional pick at the end of the first. No, it's got to be branded as you get the first pick of the second round.
The 33rd pick of the first round is the first pick of the second round.
No, I hate when people fuck with the number of picks.
Okay.
Like the Leafs a few years ago, I want to say made a second round pick. I think it was Jeremy Bracco. It was a second round pick that was like 62nd overall, but it was because I think some team had a pick stripped from them. And no, it's shenanigans. There aren't 33 picks in the first round. Anyway, we're getting too caught up in semantics. In order, I want them to be able to pick their opponent, and I really like the idea of them getting an extra pick somewhere in the draft.
Adam, you're a proponent of the President's Trophy meaning more.
I always,
right. Yeah.
And I think it does matter. Like I think the NHL is two different seasons. The NHL is the regular season, and then it's the playoffs. The game fundamentally changes from game 82 of the season to game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. We all know this, right? The way it's ref, the way it's played. Everybody's like, "Oh, it's different. You got to bring it different. It's tougher, whatever." Refs put the whistles away. Okay, so it's a different game. So why don't we reward, or why don't we at least give some respect to these teams that were the number 1 teams? We're like, fuck it, who cares? Doesn't matter. Stanley Cup, baby. Woo! Actually, no. I actually think that there is some merit in that, and we're pretty much. I mean, I guess the NFL's like this too, but I do think that there's a little bit in North America. I think there's like a little bit of like, wow, we're just not going to celebrate that because it's not the ultimate championship. How about it's a step along the way and it's pretty fucking cool? And
they don't even have a trophy for that in baseball. Like,
no, they don't.
It's not a thing.
They don't. But like you look at it in soccer,
isn't it a pennant?
Well, you get a pennant.
You get the pennants.
Yeah, it's not a trophy.
Yeah, you win winning your division is celebrated.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
but like one overall, it's not a thing.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, I don't know. I'm a believer that you could, but hockey is super traditional, and the chances of that ever happening are pretty slim. I'd rather, if I'm going to fight a battle, it's for a luxury tax over a hard cap. That's my battle.
Yeah. All right.
Right. So we're not applauding teams for being $4 under the cap and saying what a great job they did. I'd rather. Meanwhile, players who are objectively better, like Nick Robertson, are sitting in the minors. Like that to me is just, it's just stupid.
Dude, the Oilers having to have a short lineup in their home opener sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that sucks.
Yeah,
we gotta be able to make accommodations for that.
No,
that's ridiculous.
No, we can't. Gary's NHL, baby.
This is a quick one from Ryan Party. Why didn't Matthews' jersey have an A tonight? They rotate their A's.
Yeah, that's always
there's 4 of them, right? 4 A's, so you can only wear 2 at a time.
No, 3.
3.
Mm-hmm. 4 if you don't have a captain, I think.
Okay.
But the Leafs have. I'm trying to think back to the Matthews rookie year, and I'm pretty sure their 4 A's were, if I'm not mistaken, Morgan Riley, Tyler Bozak, Matt Hunwick, and Leo Komarov.
You're absolutely right.
It's
the Hun Dog.
Yeah, to promote the Centennial Classic.
Yeah.
Those are the 4 faces they chose.
Well, because Lou wouldn't let the young guys be advertised.
No Marner, no Matthews, no Nylander.
No.
None of that. Riley as the elder statesman there. I think it's Marner gets the home games and Matthews gets the road or something like that. And then if one of them gets hurt, it doesn't matter to me.
This is an interesting one from Buka. Buka D Beep Boop says,
Wow.
You guys think, this is specifically about Leafs fans, you guys think fans have gotten away from actively looking to enjoy the game. Many focus on inconsequential negatives. I feel like we should focus on inconsequential positives for fun. And then have plenty of energy for genuinely bad or good plays. What do you guys think?
I
agree.
100% think there's something there, and it's something I try to be self-reflective of, and sometimes, I nitpick. I know hockey Twitter nitpicks, and I'm like, why are we taking this so seriously? And I think we're still... And see, I just caught myself. I was going to say, I think we're in a period of time where you need to give people grace because of just the way things are. No, we're not. It's not that we're in a period of time where you need to give people grace. I think you just need to give people grace.
I agree.
And I think people are grumpy. I think life is not as good as it once was for a lot of people, and people are grumpy and they take it out on the things they love, which makes them love them less. And all of a sudden there's less joy in life. So I know this got really dark really fast, but that is why you see so much anger around people's biggest interests. So I think it's passion for people wanting the thing that they love to be better, but it's also people are kind of mad right now. And, their hobby becomes this thing they can take their aggression out on. And that's
it's like
not
playing men's league.
Yeah, it's not what it's supposed to be. What's worse than that?
It's the worst. With a bunch of Tommy tryhards, chill out, bro.
Guys,
We all have work in the morning, and you're trying to take out my knees.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a good slash around the neck. Don't get next to my goalie. It's like, fuck off, man.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing elbows at your 45-year-old goalie.
What, do you keep a pen in your glove in case someone has a contract for you? Fuck off.
You realize you paid to do this. Nobody's paying you to be out here.
Yeah, I'm losing money to be here.
Right. Enjoy it.
Anyway. So what you were asking for there is inconsequential positives. I don't know if there are inconsequential positives. I think every positive has consequence. Every positive is a lovely little thing, and if you it's the word actively is doing a lot of work there. Sometimes I have to try hard to like something, and your instinct is I shouldn't have to try to like this. No, I think in life you have to try to do everything.
Adam, do you think fans have gotten away from actively looking to enjoy the game?
I think I think that's a stretch for me. I think that there is getting away from actively enjoying the game. I mean, listen, let me tell you this. If you're on Twitter, you're not a normal fan.
No.
Normal fans are not on Twitter. I'll tell you, I think the number of active social media users who actually use Twitter on a day-to-day basis is less than 5%. And of that 5%, 1% are what we consider power users. So 1% of 5% are people like us who tweet all the time. And so it's a very tight group. It's small, man.
Social media causes such a generation gap. And I didn't realize how extreme it was.
It's huge.
I have a buddy who's I think he's 42. And I'm 34. And I'm very online.
Mm-hmm.
He's not at all.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of guys his age aren't at all. And we look at life so differently.
Mm-hmm.
And he's fascinated by my world. And he's always asking questions like, what are people talking about? What's no, I haven't heard of that. And he's classic, sends you a meme that you saw 6 months ago, guy.
Listen, I'll say this.
It's caused us to have
to answer the question
perspective.
No question. I think to answer the question, we've the pendulum has swung one way and it's been extremely negative. I would say it started 6 years ago when I really started to feel things get darker and darker and darker, and then the pandemic was super dark. I feel like things are lightening up a little bit. I also think that we know this from every documentary ever done and every study ever done of social media, both Facebook or Meta and the company that owns Twitter, which I think will belong to Elon Musk soon.
No.
The the whole way to stand out, the whole way to generate clicks is to generate outrage. And so what you have, that's actually the way that they create engagement. So what you have is a bunch of human beings who have figured out subconsciously, well, if I say something negative, or if I shit talk the Leaf, or I shit talk the Sens, or whatever it is, I'm going to get a lot more engagement. And I think that there is a part of us that I don't think social media would exist if sometimes we all felt like we were fully listened to, if we all didn't feel a little lonely, if you know, there is a bit of a social outlet. And I feel like what's happened is, because the content that does the best is the shit that's probably the most negative, that's why it feels like a lot of people don't enjoy the game. But I can guarantee you, man, when you put your phone down, honestly, and I don't want to sound like a boomer here, but I do. You put your phone down and you watch the game, or you change your replies, that what you see come up in your replies to only people that you follow, your life will change for the better. You will shut your DMs down. I've done it. It's kind of crazy. And it's not because I don't want different viewpoints. I still follow a whole bunch of different accounts and that sort of thing. But it is because it cuts out like the random negative people who are like nameless, faceless, don't play into your world. And then you don't feel that overwhelming sense of dread, which then makes you enjoy your thing that you love less.
I think there's a subtle but large difference between an echo chamber and just not poisoning your mind.
Yes. Yeah. My point is that I think that sometimes you look at things online and you are stuck in a loop of shitty news. Like, there's sometimes, like, I don't know how I end up watching these creators, and for some people this works or whatever, but they're fucking taking shots at each other, and I don't even know what's happening on TikTok, but I'm sitting there watching these people like, yeah, that fucking whatever, blah, 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 that asshole is such a dick, whatever, and then like responding to a reply in their comments. I'm like, I don't even know what's happening here, and I'm watching this. I need to stop. Put your phone down. You have a daughter. You have 2 dogs. You're married now.
You're yelling at yourself.
Exactly. That's what this is me to me.
I was about to say,
this is me talking to me.
This describes you.
This is oddly specific.
I want to grab myself and go, shh. Are you crazy? Get up.
I love the meme. Everything I've learned about blank, I learned against my will.
Right.
Everything I learned about, I don't know.
Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox was the start of that.
Against my will.
So funny. So yeah.
Why do I know about any of this?
There's plenty of people who still enjoy the game. What I think you need to do is it's an active mindset of, I'm going to avoid shit that upsets me.
Mm-hmm. If you're feeling like, oh, Leafs fans watching these games are actively looking for the negatives, maybe that's just the platform you're watching the video or you're the game in. You know, maybe you need to be in a different environment.
Yeah, follow different Leaf fans.
It's not even follow, maybe just watch the game on your own. You know, with your family and friends. You know,
I think it's also okay to
offline
put your favorite thing down.
Yeah.
Put your favorite thing down. You don't have to watch all 82 games. Mm-hmm. It's my job. Let me do it. You don't have to. If it's what makes you happy, do it. Mm-hmm. If a game is pissing you off, turn it off. If you got some shit to do, turn it off. Like, the highlights will be there in the morning. I'll be there yelling and screaming in the morning. It'll all be there. If you want to watch it later, you can do that now. It's the future. It fucking rules. You know, in some aspects, it fucking rules. It's okay to put your favorite thing down so that you can like it again. It's okay. You ever did this video game get shitty? No, you overplayed it. Put it down.
Did this song get shitty? No, you overplayed it. You're tired.
You overplayed it. And then you listen to it in a month and you're like, this fucking slaps.
Yeah.
You just need a second.
Well, how long did you drop Red Dead Redemption before going back to it?
Oh, months. And now I'm obsessed again.
I hate to do this, but we have some breaking news and I just thought you'd like to know.
Oh, I was about to hit the button.
The Edmonton Oilers have made a hire. And this is the kind of internet that may not make you the happiest. Oilers have announced several hockey operations staff updates, including the additions of Duncan Keith as player development consultant.
Okay. And
Milan Ticci, who I don't know who that is, director of amateur European Scout.
Okay.
Oh, people are all in their mentions already.
Yeah.
The trade for him might have come with something like this, you know?
You come here, you'll have a job.
Yeah, we'll take care of you after.
Nobody hires former players like the Oilers.
All they do in Edmonton is hire ex-Oilers, so it's par for the course.
Ken Holland, Duncan Keith connection.
Oh,
I don't know.
Is there a connection there?
Well, yeah, he traded for him.
Oh, okay.
But also,
I was like, before that?
the Hockey Canada connection, like just because Ken Holland's been the GMs of those teams and Duncan Keith won gold
Bobby
with
Nix.
those teams. I'm not shocked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not surprising. It's the bad hire. We'll see. I don't know. Might be a bad hire, I should say.
There are
You don't have to like everything about the sport, but you can't enjoy the game, is my point.
there are reasons to be happy about it. There are reasons to be mad about it.
To question
You have
it.
a choice to make.
All right.
Exactly.
We'll see how it
Exactly.
goes.
And we love you, and we will see you on Monday. We're very excited about that.
Usually
You
hit
don't-
you hit
Yeah.
the post.
Oh,
you
well,
could
no,
just-
I
you had to
was
have your
just saying that.
headphones
I thought you guys want to say. What I will say, honestly,
okay.
we try to keep it up and positive here when we can.
Yeah, let's go New York! Go Rangers! Bodega!
The Steve Dangle Podcast.
Powered by Sports Interaction, Canada's Sportsbook.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.